Let's dive into the story of Robert Millikan, often called a stubborn classical physicist, when it came to early quantum theory. Why? Well, he didn't want to accept Einstein's quantum theory of light, at least, not at first. Millikan's classical stance. Millikan was a strong believer in the classical wave theory of light, which emphasized light's wave-like nature. He couldn't quite wrap his head around Einstein's idea that light could also behave like particles, photons. According to Einstein's theory, light isn't just a continuous wave, but made up of tiny energy packets, or quanta. For Millikan, this was a big clash with the classical physics he supported. The photoelectric effect experiment. Despite his doubts, Millikan decided to test Einstein's theory himself by conducting experiments on the photoelectric effect, where light hits a metal and ejects electrons. And guess what? His experiments ended up confirming Einstein's photon theory. Even though his own work proved Einstein right, Millikan was still reluctant to fully embrace the idea. He was a firm believer in light's wave nature, so it took some time for him to come around. But, in the end, the scientific evidence was undeniable. From stubbornness to Nobel Prize. The irony here? Millikan ended up winning the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1923 for his work that basically proved Einstein's quantum theory. Correct. The same theory he had resisted for so long. Even after his groundbreaking experiments, he still leaned toward classical views of light, but he couldn't ignore what his experiments were telling him. So, Millikan's story shows that even the most stubborn scientists can't resist the pull of hard evidence. He may have clung to classical physics for a while, but in the end, science always wins. Why he's called stubborn? Millikan's resistance to the new quantum ideas is what earned him that stubborn classical physicist label. He held on to classical physics as long as he could, but eventually, the truth brought him around. It's a reminder that sometimes, even when we don't want to accept new ideas, the evidence will push us in the right direction. So, Millikan went from resisting Einstein's theory to winning a Nobel Prize for proving him right. Now, that's a twist.